And then, if you tuned in the night before...
How many times have we watched this? I feel like I've watched it at least like 5 times.
Actually, I'm pretty sure this is the first time I ever saw this.
You've got to be kidding me. I could have sworn we reviewed it.
May have. I've been wrong before, but...
I know we reviewed the Hogan Warrior
that we've seen a couple times, yeah. So, Fall Brawl 98, the War Games main event, September 13th, 1998. Michael Buffer did his most bland, factual ring introductions of all time. Maybe because there was 9 guys, he didn't have time to write a mini bio for all of them.
He said, "We are about to witness an event like no other in the annals of professional wrestling." That was
true.
Absolutely fucking true. It was.
So the cage begins to lower. There's pyro and wacky disco music.
Dude.
Like, I expected everyone to get up and start dancing.
The thing about this music was, they play this music and it never stops.
No.
And it just goes on and on and on and on. And like when they lower the cell, there's that dum 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 music, but then it's like over. Not at War Games. They played this music when it was time for everybody to come down to the ring. Why didn't they have their own themes? This music was so terrible.
Not to mention when the guys ran out, to get in the cage, the pop was so much less because the guys didn't come out to their own music.
Buffer explains, 3 teams of 3 men for a total of 9 men. It's like, goddamn, you're right.
He's got it.
Wow.
I can't argue.
You are correct with that addition.
My favorite line, actually he had 2.
Multiplication, I guess it would be.
He had 2 great lines, although one wasn't even his fault. Now, I was aware that they had destroyed the concept of War Games by making this every man for himself.
Yeah.
What I was not aware of was that this match could end at any time. They weren't even going to wait till all 9 men were in the ring. In theory, if Dallas Page had schoolboyed Bret Hart and pinned him in 30 seconds to win this match, it's over, it's done, the other 7 guys never even get their shot.
It's funny you say that.
Totally
because
butchered this.
He did say over and over that it can end at any time.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess that's true. Like, I thought that once everybody was in, he was telling us it could end at any time. But I'm like, that's how it always is.
Yeah.
How weird that it can end at any time, now that you mention it.
Well, that was the thing back in the day when all the guys were in there.
They'd all be
War
in
Games
first.
would change to
The match beyond.
Yes, the match beyond, because that's when the match starts. Before that, it's just the War Games. And it's not just a mistake on my part, because when Paige and Brett started to wrestle, the announcer said, "These men have," and this is a quote, "the definite advantage," because they could win before the others even got there.
God damn, you're right.
This is like the stupidest match I ever saw.
Well, then he announces that whoever won would become the mandatory contender.
I laughed.
For the WCW title.
I laughed and I laughed. And we actually watched this together, you and I. And then you pointed out they would have no choice. They would be forced to wrestle Goldberg.
You must face Goldberg.
And when you put it that way, it actually makes sense.
Yeah. You cannot win and then decide, you know what? I don't want to face Goldberg.
I will wait until somebody else beats Goldberg and then wrestle that person. No, you must wrestle Goldberg.
Now, granted, the next day they just gave Sting a title shot.
Oh, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
I guess, well, there's not much more to get to, but that's how it went down. So Paige and Brett started. And they get in the cage, and they lock this cage with a chain they had to have found at the bottom of a river somewhere. I hope everyone wrestling this match got many tetanus shots afterwards, and before. So they're doing stuff and doing pin attempts and teasing diamond cutters, and no one believes that War Games is going to end in the first 2 minutes.
I sure shit didn't, because I didn't even get it.
Nothing happened for a while. Stevie Ray was the 3rd man in. Stevie and Brett double-teamed Paige a bit. And in the middle of this double-teaming, Paige has a big double clothesline, and everyone pops, and then Stevie just stands right back up. Because he's an idiot. Sting is 4th. Huge pop for his entrance.
Does his big dive from one ring to the other and lands on his head.
He tried to dive from ring to ring, which he had done many times before in prior War Games, and he barely cleared the ropes and got his feet caught on them and came straight down on his head and shoulder. Brett and Paige were down selling forever. They got up, clotheslined each other, kept selling forever. They were.
It's a great plan, actually.
They were not getting paid by the workload. They're getting paid just to be there. Sting splashed Stevie into the cage a few times, then he missed and hit the steel. Roddy Piper was 5th. He comes in and starts punching everyone, including his alleged partner, Dallas Page.
You know when we watched that first War Games and there were like 7 guys in there or whatever, 6'5", however many, but they were all in one of the 2 rings?
Yes.
To make it look more chaotic. They actually did that gimmick here as well, but this did not need to look any more chaotic.
No.
You had Stevie Ray in there. Like, you did not need to consolidate everybody into one ring.
You did not have 2 teams, you had 5 individuals. They could have used more space. Stevie ended up between the rings with his head stuck between the aprons. At least that was the idea. And then they cut to a camera angle that made it clear he could get out at any time. Luger was 6th. He punches Stevie. Dudes are just milling around. And announcers are like, at some point, we're going to see team members turn on each other. I thought 2 minutes ago, I watched Dallas Page and Roddy Piper stand in the middle of the ring punching each other in the face. Then Schiavone said, no one's used the cage as a weapon. Sting did. Several times, repeatedly. So these guys were as bored as everyone else were, not paying attention. Piper hooked a sleeper on Stevie Ray, which theoretically could have ended the match. Nobody cared. Nash was 7th. Got the biggest pop of the night. Also got Pyro, the first guy to get Pyro. Funny how that works. Now Schiavone had changed his tune. Now the fresh man had the advantage. Hogan sneaks down to the cage.
I mean, he's kind of right at that point. Because, the other guys are now getting tired. And if you're fresh, you can come in and maybe pin one of these geeks.
All right. Which it should have been the story from the get-go, but of course you can win at any time.
You can win at any time.
So Hogan sneaks down into the cage and starts clubbing dudes with the weapon.
Stop right there.
He snuck.
When Hogan started sneaking down to the ring, at first when I watched it, I thought, why are you sneaking down to the ring? What is happening here? Now that I understand that the match can end at any time, now it makes sense to me why he was sneaking down to the ring. However, why didn't he sneak down to the ring earlier?
That's a good point.
I don't know.
He sneaks down with a slapjack.
Mm-hmm.
You guys, just wait. Just wait. You will be so sick of this fucking slapjack within about a year's time. Every single show had this stupid slapjack. Beats up everybody.
Lex and Sting had hooked their finishers, but Hogan clubs them with a slapjack.
He beat up everybody.
They did. They turned on Brett, Hogan and Stevie did.
And then they just stand there.
Yes. So everyone was dead, I wrote, and Hogan and Stevie were walking around.
Yeah, they could have pinned anybody.
Uh-huh.
And then we find out, this is even better, because Hogan snuck in, when the clock counted down, that was for his spot.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So then they stood around for another 2 minutes.
Yes. Just bebopping. So finally they leg drop Nash a few times, and Hogan makes a cover, but the ring fills with smoke. And when the smoke clears, Warrior is in there. Hogan lays him out. But then
Stop right there. Can you be more nonchalant about this? The ring fills... I got to go over this, okay? The ring... There's 2 rings, okay?
Yes.
The rings fill up with smoke.
why is it funny when he states the simplest facts?
I don't know.
And in the middle of the smoke appears the Warrior. He is teleported
Yeah.
into the cage, okay?
Well, it's his doppelganger, the renegade.
The very first fucking thing that happens when he teleports into the cage is Hulk Hogan immediately beats his ass.
Yep. He had a visual clean pin on the guy if he would have pinned him.
So the Warrior, who just teleported into this cage, he gets his ass kicked and apparently thinks to himself, well, shit, let's start over again. The fucking smoke comes up and it goes down and he's gone.
Right.
Hogan's left holding his coat.
Yes. Then Warrior runs down the aisle.
Okay,
He teleported to backstage.
Yeah. I think, and this is me connecting some dots that maybe were not meant to be connected.
That he has a stand-in Warrior.
He has,
in
yes,
storyline.
exactly.
He has a Robin.
He has a lackey. He does. He has a boy wonder who he sends out there to take his beatings.
Okay, fine. Well, let's just imagine that
the
he has
best
a
I can
lackey,
do.
okay?
Okay, yeah.
But we can agree on one thing, Vinny. Whether it's the Warrior or a lackey, he has the power of teleportation. Correct?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so this fucker runs down the aisle, and he gets in the ring. They start brawling. Disciple pulls Hogan out of the ring. The Warrior is brawling with Stevie Ray.
Yes.
You paid this guy $1 million. And your plan to try to make him look good, he's had like one match, like that Ultimate Warrior Triple H match at Mania, in like 5 years. It fucking sucks. You put him in with Stevie Ray. They're brawling, and in the midst of this, Hogan gets pulled out of the War Games cage.
Mm-hmm.
He's outside.
He just leaves.
He just left.
I don't want to be in War Games anymore.
Then Warrior can't get out of the cage.
Right.
Fuck you.
They lock Warrior in. He can't teleport anymore. He's done teleporting.
That's the most egregious part of this entire match.
Yeah.
Like, it's bullshit that a guy can teleport, okay?
But it's
if-
even more bullshit that he
if
can't.
in this universe he's able to, then why couldn't he? That makes me angry.
He can teleport in. He can't teleport out.
But he can. He did earlier in this match.
Oh, you're right. I apologize.
So Hogan circles ringside, and Warrior is following him around from the inside, and they get back to the near the aisleway, and Warrior begins to kick his way out of the cage. He also wants out of War Games now. And Warrior chases Hogan and Disciple to the back.
Oh, Vinny, perhaps you didn't see.
Oh, yeah.
When the fucking Warrior kicked the thing out of the thing, as Owen Hart would say, and dropped out of the cage, he blew out his ankle.
Did
And
not
he
notice that.
limped. after
Limped
Hogan.
his ass up the ramp after Hulk Hogan. He's now on one leg. You think Warrior on two legs is bad. Now we've got a one-legged Warrior brawling with Hulk Hogan in the aisle.
So they're all gone. Immediately, well, I don't know what happened. Stevie's got a slapjack. He swings it forward where both Brett and Paige are and ends up hitting Brett. Whatever they were going for here, it didn't work. I don't know if this is supposed to look like an accident. I don't know if it was supposed to look like Brett pushed Paige out of the way and took the bullet. I don't know. I just don't know what they were trying to do.
Well, based on Brett turning babyface, I think that's what was supposed to happen.
Regardless, Brett got hit, he was down, and Paige immediately hit a diamond cutter on Stevie and pinned him. Match was stupid, it was long, it was boring, it was counterproductive. I do not recommend watching this.
You know, I wrote right here, was not -5 stars, but after reviewing it, like how?
You know why? I'll tell you why. If we were watching this in 1998, we'd have been throwing shit at the wall. We've been so pissed off.
It's true.
Do you know how many TNA pay-per-views I've seen where everything was stupider than this?
That's true. Standards are very, very different now.
Yes.
Now, Dave gave this -4 stars at the time.
Yeah.
So I don't know what he thought could have been worse.
I don't know, but I thought it was... this may have been generous, but I went a quarter star.
You gave it in the positives? Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was -5 stars.
I've seen many matches worse than this.
I have too, but like this was fucking terrible.
It was.
He had a teleporter who lost his ability to teleport in the middle of a match.
Maybe he can only do it when he's got his coat on.
Let me think about this.
Then how did he get to the back and leave the coat there?
Possible.
True.
Anyway, that match sucked.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not recommending it.
No.
I've seen thousands worse. Well, hundreds.